Greetings, Mount Zion. I greet you all in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. I'm so delighted to sit in front of you and share you with my story as well as the testimony. The person sitting in front of you, I'm called Namakua Mundia, coming from a family that was broken, separated, hints of depression, a lot of things to mention. My mom and dad divorced at the time when my mom discovered that she was HIV positive, at the point where she was carrying my young brother. She opted to kill herself after she gave birth to my young brother. She left letters, which I came to read when I was 13 years. Grandma took me in, she accommodated me and my young brother. Nobody was there to welcome us in their homes or to be with them because we were HIV. The time I came to know that I was HIV positive, it was the time when I was at school. That was in my grade 7. We were learning about it in class. Then the teacher was like showing us the picture of how the drug which people with HIV take and how the bottle looks like. So when I came across that picture, I remember to say, this is the drug which I take at home. And believe me, I don't know if it's the creative of my grandma, who happened to be my mom back then. She told me to say, these drugs that I take is for them to make me intelligent at school, so I shouldn't miss a day to take those drugs. But when I learned it about at school, it was a different story. Of course, I was hate, but as time went by, I understood to why she told me that, because it was something that I couldn't understand at that particular time. So when I learned about it, it was on that particular day when I came to know to say, the person I call mom, she was not my mom, but my grandmother. And a lot used to happen. She used to be beaten by grandpa because she accepted us, and she neglected her duties of being a wife to grandpa because she never wanted to leave us alone the way others did. She endured that until when I discovered that I was HIV positive. And then it was at that same time when my young brother was also tested and also put on medication. So at that particular time, I stopped taking that medication because I never had a purpose or reason to live. All I just wanted was to die. So I had to go back in the room where my mom used to sleep. Like, I had to get all her things, started going through all her documents just to find something. Maybe she wrote something for me. Of course, I had to find some letters. When I read the letters she left, trust me, I was so devastated to the point whereby suicidal thoughts started following me. But I reached at a point where I had to tear those papers because the suicidal thoughts, it just advanced from one level to another. So at the same time when I was 13 years, I had to leave. When I passed my grade 7 going to grade 8, I had to leave grandma. One of my uncles had to say, no, I want to take you so that I can take care of you. I went, that was in Kitwe. We went there in Kitwe. I stayed with him. Of course, I never had a privilege to be taken to school. I became a living inmate for that family. I stayed for 2 good years without going to school, just taking care of them. On this, I can say, cursed day, I was raped. And I never sat on it. I had to take the case to the police until case, court, prison, he was jailed. Because I reported the case and the person who was jailed, I now received the total neglection, the total rejection, because I took someone to the court, to police, to be jailed for that, which they never wanted it to happen. So my grandpa happened to draw a line for me to say, this line that I've drawn, I don't want you to jump it, meaning they have got nothing to do with me. They had to just say, you are on your own. My grandma couldn't stand and be strong for herself or for us. She got sick, that's how she died. I opted to start working as a living inmate from one house to another station, waiting for a bus which is not going anywhere. The night you go in the bus, you sleep, in the morning you come out, start just moving around until on this one fateful day, there's this lady who just came through. So I always find you at this spot whenever I'm going for work. How is your life? What is it that is happening to you? That's how I narrated my story to her. So this is what happened to me. That good Samaritan happened to take me in, accepted me the way I was until we went at her place. So the process of staying with her, she was a very busy person. They had some instance that was happening in their house, which I didn't like because most of the time she was not around. So one of his cousins would come to the room, want to do something with me. Then I opted to leave that place, went back again in the street. I got tired of working as a living inmate, also staying in the streets. I opted to say, maybe let me just get married. Let me find someone who's going to take care of me. I've tested a marriage for 6 months. Not that I wanted it, no, but because of the situations that was happening within me, I opted, let me just get married. Maybe it is going to serve me. But despite of that, getting married was the worstest decision I made for myself, because that marriage was not a marriage which was good. It was just something else, better than I was in the street. I could have been beaten. The guy whom I got married to, like, I don't even know how I can put the way it was. Not until on this fateful day, that was in 2016 November, at the home where I used to work, because I never stopped working. It was a going and back working kind of. So at the home of the boss where I used to work, at this point I had watched a video where Princess Kasuni opened up about her status in the parliament when she was elected as the MP. Through that story that she shared, it was at that point where I opened up to say, okay, so there are people who are HIV out there and they're able to do something for themselves. I think let me also learn something from this. So it was from that moment where I decided to leave that house. Like I told the guy I was staying with, so you know what, I'm just tired of everything. It's high time I just think of what I'm going to do for myself. Despite of me being HIV positive, I've got a life out of it, and I won't allow it to define me, but I will go through it and make sure that I overcome and also get what I want to be. That's how I left. When I left, he sent thugs for me, like to beat me up. So among one of the thugs he sent, he served me. It was like, no guys, this person he has sent us to do, like, this is my cousin, so we can't beat her up. Let me take her to my grandma's place. That's how that guy served me that day. We went to his grandma's place. He was like, what did you do to him? That's how I narrated. So no, you know, I've been staying with that guy for, I can say now 6 months, but I've just decided to say I'm tired of everything. You see how he beats me, like everything. So I just want to do something for myself. It was like, so now what are you going to do? No, I want to go back to school. So the money that whenever I get paid, like the money you always get it, like we can't even do anything. So I want to do something for myself. So the time, those back years I used to work as a living inmate, I used to also push myself to school. I was doing night school. I managed to complete my grade 12, that was in 2014. So when that incident happened for Princess Kasune sharing her story and me getting to know it, that was in 2016. It was that point where I told myself to say, I need to align myself with things, like I just have to make my life straight so that things can also work out for my good. That's how I decided to leave that guy. And then also the friend also helped me to someone who was looking for a living inmate. And that person also welcomed me and accepted me the way I was until I started working. So that person was based in Ndola. That's how I left Ndola. I left Kitwe, went to Ndola. So when I went to Ndola, I discovered to say I was pregnant. When I was pregnant, then like that lady, she couldn't accept me to be there with the pregnancy and myself. I reached out to grandma. So this grandma is the younger sister to my biological grandma. With her, I've got no problem because she was one person who was there for me. Just that her state of being couldn't allow me to be with her because she has got nothing to offer me. But her love, her support, she could always check up on me wherever I am. I stayed with grandma until I gave birth. When I gave birth, life became hard because I was not working. So her daughters and other people who knew to say I was staying with us, they started coming, no, you can chase her because she's not doing anything. She has just brought problems to you. In our daddy, she can start looking for the father, and in our brother, from her mom's side, they can like do something for her. That's how I was chased. I tried to go to my father. Of course, I had some links to say my father is in curfew. I went to him. He never welcomed me. He disowned me to say, I've got nothing to do with you. You ask the family from your mom's side to show who your father is. That's how I left. Came in Lusaka, stayed for 3 weeks at Intercity. Nowhere to go with my child, seated at the bus stop there trying to figure out what am I going to do. That's how I reached out to a certain lady who owned the restaurant by then to say, what am I going to do? So like, if it's the child, you go to social welfare, they will help you. Like this is social welfare, they have got orphanages, they can take in your child. If you yourself have said you want to go back to school, you want to raise money. That's how I went to social welfare. They are opposite the police. the headquarters police. I went there, I explained. That's how they took in the child. My child was taken to the orphanage when he was 3 years. When he was taken to the orphanage, I left. I went back now to grandma, who was in Dola. So grandma was shifting from Dola to Kapiri. We shifted together. I had to say, I have to do something for myself, because grandma, the kind of life she lives, I was like, no, I can't be here. I'll be also a burden to her. That's how I started working again as a living inmate, until one of my bosses said, no, I have a friend who works for Pick and Pay, so if you really need a job, you said you want to go to school, then I can talk to him. He can help you push a job. That's how I had applied. I was picked. That's how I started working for Pick and Pay. That was now in 2017, January. And then when they opened Pick and Pay in Kafue, that's how I left Ndola, went to Kafue. Kafue, where my dad is. I was like, okay, so God, are you trying to say something here? Because that person disowned me, said I'm not a daughter. Why are you bringing me to this place? Like, I just hate this place from that moment. But I had no option. That's how I went. So when I went to Kafue, I told myself to say, I need to make my life straight. I was not in the line of knowing to say what I'm doing is this. I was doing things in my own understanding. But at that time, I told myself to say, I need to look for a church where I can be guided, like I need to know God and also align myself in the things of God. So I made Bread of Life to be my home church. I joined with Pastor Bruno Tembo. Pastor Bruno Tembo helped me out. When I joined, I was a committed member. I went through foundation class. I went through baptism lessons until I was baptized. Mr. Bruno Tembo has stand with me so many times for me just to see me through, because the time I joined, I explained all my life story to him. And through that, he said, you know, we need to pray, because in as much as you give your life to Christ, but there are just certain forces that are following you, which don't want to see you succeed, but take you back to the kind of life that you had. So you need to pray and give your life to Christ. That's how it was at that point where I had to give myself to Christ. Went through baptism, went through foundation lessons, and my life was changed. From that time, my life was changed. I aligned myself with God, and I told God, like I had gone to the mountain, I prayed, I did a 2 days prayer and fasting to say, God, you have given me this job. Help me to raise money so that I can go to school. I've got a grade 12 certificate. I can do something for myself. And God heard that prayer. He gave me wisdom and knowledge, because I told him, I just want to live a simple life which is going to help me raise money. And I managed to do that. From all the earnings that I used to make, I told myself that per month I need to just use a 300 for me to save this money for me to go to school. And I managed to do that. 2019, I reached out to schools which were within Kafue. So by then, I'd already had a relationship with some lecturers at Kafue College of Nursing, because during my working at Speak and Pay, I was in charge of writing quotations. So I managed to create rapport with some lecturers. And then they managed to help me and also managed to give me a place the time I wanted to have a place for nursing. So 2019, I started the journey of nursing. I did my course for 3 good years. I managed to raise money for the first 2 years, of which I managed to also raise the last money for my final year, because the first year I was doing both school and work, which helped me to push for the final year. A journey of school, it was a very successful journey, and everything was okay because I aligned myself with God, and God had to take me through each and every step that I was making. So that's how my life has been. It has been a journey of ups and downs, but through God, here I am today. Despite of being neglected, despite of being called names, because I remember at a point whereby one of my aunties said, I can't be wasting money to somebody who's already dead. Just a waste of time me giving them money to go to school. So I never looked on that point. I was just focused and determined to say, no matter what, as long as God has given me a breath to wake up today and I'm able to breathe, I've got also power to make something out of myself. This already dead person is going to do incredible things better than those who are living normally. That's how I managed to do my nursing. I graduated. As I graduated, I didn't just graduate as a mere student. I graduated with honors. I was graduated as a best student in neonatology, as also an outstanding student in spiritual, because the time I went, spiritual aspect of the school was not there. But I made sure I introduced it, and it stood firm. Up to now, it's still working. So that's how has been my journey. So now to the testimony that I have. In the year of sudden acts, I joined Mount Zion. That was in March. When I joined Mount Zion in March, it was a time where Bishop was praying for people. It was the first day when I came, but it was a time where he said, if you're not born again, or if you are born again but trying to give yourself to Christ, you can come forth if you're expecting God for something, breakthrough. I took a step of faith. I went in front. Bishop prayed for me. At the time when Bishop prayed for me, that was in March. In May, I received a call from a National Health Research because in 2023, I had applied for, what's this? There's an advert which came out for National Health Research Authority to be a mentee under data police brief writing. And one of the qualifications which they were looking for was for someone who has a degree. Me, I only have a diploma. So I took a step of faith and applied. They wanted someone to like put in a abstract like form to like just explain a mental problem that you want to be addressed in Zambia. So I took a step of faith. I wrote down that abstract. It was just part of a short brief introduction of how I explained my problem. And that was in May. I was called to say, no, you have been accepted to be among the mentees for the National Health Data to Police brief writing, which was a project of 8 months. I started that journey. It was incredible. Away from that, in August, I also was privileged to be given a position as an advocacy coordinator for women in global health. Because I joined Women in Global Health, that was in 2022 when I just finished my nursing school. So through my commitment and my sacrifice, giving my time, I opted to join in as an intern. So from an intern, I was now given that position permanently as an advocates coordinator. Away from that, through all these journeys that have been going through round and round from National Health Research, Women in Global Health, it has been an incredible journey because I've found myself to the places where a already dead person couldn't find herself. I found myself in people where I never thought that one day I can mingle with them, I can even talk to them. Away from that, November, I was privileged to receive an invite from Ministry of Justice for me to attend a national workshop where I'm implementing or harmonizing the national aspects are kind of harmonizing things. So it has just been an incredible journey for me. Through the time that I joined Mount Zion, the whole 2024, it has been a journey of incredible teachings. When I'm free, I always reach out to different youth-friendly spaces where I do some advocates to young female boys and girls, just teach about how to go about life. It's a journey that I'm passionate about. So through those commitments, I was privileged to receive an award through the Nurses and Midwives Gala as Outstanding Patient Community Services. Sudden acts were just happening at each and every point. Through God, through the prayers of our bishop, through the leadership of Mount Zion, everything has been possible. We have now entered the year of manifesting dominion. I had applied for a degree program at the university. I took a step of faith to do that application, knowing to say, if that's the will of God, God will give me a place. And for sure, God gave me that place. I prayed about it when I received the acceptance to say, the same way, God, you have allowed me to be given this acceptance, it's the same way you're going to come through for sponsorship. On my page, my Facebook page, I do some awareness at the time when I'm taking my meds. One Good Samaritan has just come through to say he's going to pick up the sponsorship of my degree program. He has offered to sponsor me from the starting as I report on the 3rd of February until the time I'm going to finish. So all he has just said was, I've just come across this now, so make sure you secure your 25%. Whatever that comes out will be on me. I'm really so grateful because where there is life, there is hope. And God always works in a mysterious way at a time when you're not even expecting it. This year is really a year to manifest the dominion. So you got to position yourself. You got to align yourself. You got to walk in the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of God. By doing so, and everything that you are really praying for will definitely come to pass. To my family, whoever is going to come across this, one thing I want you to know is that I love you all and I've forgiven you. And I had to do this because I want to encourage someone who might be going through or who is going through what I've gone through. Don't be offended, but learn something from it.
Your testimony is a story worth sharing. Visit our YouTube channel to hear more life-changing testimonies.